The Miami Heat may have stolen the recent headlines by pulling off an outstanding trade for Norman Powell, but the potential move that could be on the horizon for the team could be the even bigger story. After the move for Powell, the Heat could be one step closer to a potential trade of Tyler Harrow. Even though I still wouldn't call the Heat trading Harrow likely, it's certainly a possibility, and perhaps even a greater one, after the team acquired Powell. Harrow is eligible for a huge contract extension, worth up to 3 years, $150 million, on October 1st. As a player who will probably be looking for max money, giving that amount of money to Harrow would handcuff the Heat from making other big moves in the future. With Bam Adebayo already set to make max money over the next few years, the Heat can't seemingly extend Harrow to that contract with the hopes of landing another star player. It just doesn't work. For the Heat, it's time to make a grown-up decision. And with just 1 year remaining on his contract after this upcoming season, the Heat doesn't have a ton of time to figure out what lies ahead. Theoretically speaking, if Miami doesn't plan on signing Harrow to an extension, trading him this offseason would make the most sense. That's why there's an urgency from the fans for the front office to make a decision one way or another. Why Harrow could be on the move. Theoretically speaking, if the Heat were lining up a potential trade of Harrow, or even thinking about it, they would do exactly what they did in the move to add Powell. With this trade, the Heat acquire a guard who could fill in a potential void left by Harrow. Considering Powell is also a player who is in line for a contract extension, the Heat will seemingly have to choose between Harrow and Powell. On paper, that may seem easy. Harrow is young, he's better, and may have a slightly higher ceiling. However, there's a huge difference between paying Harrow $50 million versus paying Powell $25 million. One path allows the Heat to explore the option of adding another high-salary player. The other would lock the Heat with their current core. Harrow is a good player, but he's not a fit in Miami. Considering their current core was just good enough to snag the number 10 seed in the Eastern Conference last season, it's clear what the Heat needs to do next. The unfortunate part of all this is that this sounds like a knock on Harrow. And it's not. Harrow is a very good player. He was a deserving all-star this past season, and could be one again this season. But he's not a legitimate number 1 option on a championship contending team. And that's okay. But with Bam already on a max contract, the Heat can't afford to give another max extension to a player who isn't a lead star. Miami already has its elite supporting piece in Bam. Harrow just doesn't fit what the Heat needs right now. Maybe the Heat have a distorted perception of what Harrow is, or what he can be in the future, but at this point, he's probably at his ceiling. And don't get me wrong, it's certainly impressive. But for a franchise that prides itself on championship or bust, the Heat would be settling if they gave Harrow a huge extension. With the moves that they've made this summer, it does seem like Miami is gearing towards something big in 2026. If that's the plan, I can't envision a scenario where Harrow falls into that at all. With the sign-and trade of the Miami Heat's most prolific sharpshooter in Duncan Robinson going to the Detroit Pistons, the team in exchange got Simone Fontio. Besides the Heat trading for Norman Powell, Fontio was comparatively a lateral move, though there are aspects where he can contribute, as he speaks more about that on Tuesday. Fontio spoke to the media on Tuesday through Zoom and spoke about being traded to Miami and what he can offer to his new team. Funny enough, Fontio is a well-known three-point shooter, which could be seen as ironic when looking at who is going to Detroit, and even said that he compares himself to Robinson. I watched a lot of Duncan Robinson in the last 3 years because I think our skill set is pretty similar, Fontio said. Of course, he's a tremendous shooter, and he did an amazing job all the years in Miami, and I was always kind of looking at him, the way he was getting off shots, and I always kind of wanted to do the same thing. I think I can try to play like a little bit off handoffs, running off screens, do a little bit of that. The new Miami forward wouldn't find out immediately about the trade since he was in Italy, his home country. Meaning, he was in sleep when the news broke about the next step in his NBA journey. I'm in Italy right now, so I was asleep when everything happened, Fontio said. It was a little bit late over here. But I'm happy. I'm happy with the way everything went down, and I'm really excited. Looking at the new Heat acquisitions, three-point shooting. While it remains to be seen where else the Heat will add to the team with all the rumors surrounding them, there's no doubt they're hoping Fontio can help. During the 2023-24 season, He shot 40.1% from deep, but it dipped last season to 33.5%, with the 29-year-old attributing that to an injury to his left big toe in 2024. Especially last season, it's been a little up and down for me, Fontio said. I was coming off an injury that was a pretty important surgery on my left foot that I had last summer. So it was a little bit of chasing my best shape all summer and then also during the regular season. So I think I was never my full self. But I think I felt pretty comfortable over the last 2 to 3 years in the NBA, Fontio continued. I worked a lot to feel that way, and I'm working even harder right now during this summer. It's the first summer after a couple years that I didn't have any problems or injury or stuff like that, and I can really focus on myself, on my health, and my skill set. It's something I was looking for, to work on it. But definitely before, I felt like I belonged in this league, and I can do some damage. I'm looking forward to getting back to that form. At any rate, Fontio looks to help Miami improve after finishing 37-45 last season, which put them 10th in the Eastern Conference as the team was eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Los Angeles Lakers have talked to the Miami Heat about an Andrew Wiggins trade, but Lakers insider Jovan Buha says right now it's looking like a deal isn't realistic due to the Heat's asking price. Buha discussed the Wiggins situation as part of a Q&A on his Buha's Block podcast on Monday night. Buha recently reported Miami wanted Rui Hachimura, Dalton Knecht, and a first-round pick for Wiggins. Clutch Point's Anthony Irwin initially reported on LA's efforts to land Wiggins. The Lakers want to upgrade their wing rotation, especially after losing Dorian Finney-Smith to the Houston Rockets. While Wiggins has stumbled in recent seasons after he earned an All-Star nod and an NBA title with the Golden State Warriors in 2022, he's still a valuable role player when not being asked to do too much on offense. LA needs more defensive help on the wing, and Wiggins could be that while being a fourth or fifth scoring option behind Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves. The Lakers added Jake LaRavia to help mitigate the loss of Finney-Smith, but more talent is still needed for this roster. Unfortunately, the Heat are asking for quite a bit. While Wiggins would help, giving up a starter in Hachimura, a talented young player in Knecht, and a first-round pick for a somewhat uneven player is a bit rich. Perhaps Miami will wind up lowering the asking price for Wiggins, but it's unclear if that will happen after a significant trade brought in Norman Powell as an upgrade. The Heat are looking to compete in 2025-26, so they're not just going to dump Wiggins for anything. If nothing changes on the Andrew Wiggins trade front, it seems as if LA will need to look elsewhere for help on the wing. But don't expect the Lakers to go down without a fight. There's plenty of time to work out a trade, and we'll see if either side blinks.